Morning campers, how the devil are you? You catch me on a brisk Sunday morning. Yeah, I'm trying to negotiate my way through the northern outskirts of the city centre through Salford, and my aim today is to walk to another outlying town of Greater Manchester, which is Bury. The River Irwell and a massive new housing estate. I didn't know there was a weir there. I've already crossed the Irwell. I live next to it, of course, and I've crossed it on bridges 2 or 3 times already, and I expect I probably will like more times as it snakes its way through Salford. But you can't walk along most of the banks of it. There's only certain stretches you can. So road it is for now. That's a nice, interesting old building, isn't it? Looks proper old. That the beams could do with some love and attention. Racecourse Hotel, 1930. It says. Oh, it's a shame that an old building like that isn't being put to use. Look at the lovely old doors. Well, we finally turned off out of the housing estates into what I think might be Phillips Park, but I might be wrong. Certainly, I think from now on we're going to be pretty much park and countryside, hopefully, fingers crossed. Look at that light through the trees behind me. I can't believe, like 30-40 minutes through suburbia and you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. That's unusual down there, is it? Can you see that? There's like a constant ripple of bubbles coming up to the surface of the water. You know, like there's some gas pipe leaking underneath or something. Beautiful little stream though, nonetheless. Yeah, Drinkwater Park now, I think we're in. So we have to go underneath or over the motorway, which isn't something that is appealing to me at the moment. Yeah, by the sounds of it, we've got to go over. Oh no. Oh, why do they do this to me? Oh, I'm gonna run. Can you hear the traffic? It's horrible. Close my eyes. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. I hate it. It's a big one. I can't look. I'm nearly there. Nearly there. Keep going. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Oh, my least favourite thing on all my walks is motorways and the stupidly thin, hollow bridges that go over them. Oh, the panic is real. The panic is real. Absolutely hate it. Oh God. So I don't have to do that again today. That was awful. When you get halfway across and you can hear the roar of the traffic and you can see the gaps both sides and the path is barely wide enough for you to run across. Oh, and the half of the panic, half of the fear for me is knowing when you get halfway across, it's knowing that all you want to do is just stop and curl up into a ball and for it all to go away, but that's not an option, because that's just going to increase your panic. And running across the ravine on a tiny little tightrope bridge is just as bad. You can't win. You can't win. I don't know how to describe it. If you feel similar things, put it in the comments. Don't know if I've mentioned it before, guys. Something that I don't share with many people, to be honest with you, but I've spent kind of the last 10 years or so trying to improve myself, and hence the channel, really, you know, rambling, talking and walking, remedies, cures, and it has helped me. But it's been a long decade, if you like. Started one of the deciding factors. I can't talk about some of the others on YouTube, but one of the deciding factors was about 15 years ago perhaps, I decided to go on holiday and had a terrible flight to Ireland, to Galway, on a very tiny little plane, and so scared was I by the flight that I forewent my week's holiday that I'd booked in that little Irish fishing village, and got the train back across the whole entirety of Ireland the next day, 4.5 hours by train, because I just couldn't bear the thought of flying again. That was scary enough, the train journey, followed by, I think it was an 8-hour ferry ride across to the Isle of Anglesey, and then a train back home. And ever since then it's been a struggle. You know, panic attacks, being scared about leaving the flat, being scared about staying in by myself. It creates all sorts of mental problems that you don't realise, you know, that what you would think is a normal, healthy person could succumb to. And it's been a long uphill journey for me, being able to sit on a bus, go in a taxi, get in a car. Train seemed to, I don't know why, but train always seemed to be the safest, least stressful option for me. So I kind of started with that. I still haven't flown since, but I have managed, you know, after the last 5 years, I would say, to be on trains and buses, and reluctantly still, but in cars, and you know, when other people are driving. And then of course earlier this year my lovely mate Dafty gave me a car, and that he didn't need, and that was the next stepping stone, if you like. I don't know if he realised quite what he did when he gave that to me, because it kind of forced me in a way to take that next step and drive a car myself again. You know, after having, you know, 20-30 years ago I was an ambulance driver driving at full speed through city centres, and this year I've tentatively, at first, I've really got back into loving driving again, and even, you know, all the way across country, hundreds of miles, and short journeys, and it's been good. It's boosted my confidence no end. So if you are having problems, similar problems to me, or any other kinds of problems with being outside, being inside, travelling by any mode of transport, then just take it steady, do it bit by bit. Just increase your tolerance little by little, and you will get there. Of course, the next step for me is getting on a plane again. And I had a weird dream the other night. I've had a couple of weird dreams along the same line, where I'm actually I finally get on a plane and go on a flight somewhere, I can't remember where, and it was so real in the dream. So perhaps that's my next venture, is to dip my toe back in that hot steamy water of being in a tiny tin can in the sky. Anyway, that's a long-winded way to say that motorway that we just crossed, which I think was the M62, I would rather be in a car now driving myself down that motorway than crossing the bridge 100 feet above it. Maybe that's my next challenge, is to stroll across these motorway bridges like without a care in the world. Stop halfway for a picnic. Oh, it really is lovely in here. Tall trees, forest canopy overhead. In fact, this feels very much like an old railway line. I can't imagine that it is, because it would get to that motorway bridge and then how would it cross, you know, unless there was an old railway bridge across there in the past. Very few people here now. It's just lovely. On the outskirts of Radcliffe, I think, on a trail called the Outward Trail. This part of the journey is certainly a lot nicer and more peaceful than the other one, and it's great to be out and I'll look forward to perhaps a pint in the in Bury when I get there. Maybe a quick mooch around the market, see what I can pick up. This is a strange drum in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? What does it say? Harebell, Consolation, Snowdrop, Rosemary. Same again, Harebell, Snowdrop, Grief, Rosemary, Harebell. What's that one there? Remembrance. It's weird, and it's pretty solid as well. You know, a solid, massive lump of round metal with words on it. Weird words as well. Oh well. It also says on that thing Radcliffe Rotary Way, so maybe there's another circular path here, but I just saw these steps going up, old rotten steps with a bank at the top, so my curiosity has got the better of me. I'm going to brave the slippery slime and see what's at the top. Come with me, let's find out. No good for the knees, this. Oh God. What's it going to be? Just a field, a ravine, nothing, a housing estate. Oh, it's another footpath. Another footpath. And a field. Back down again then. That was boring, wasn't it? Steady as you go, because it's slimy.
I'm quite steep. Try not to look, to be honest with you. God, as I said in the previous video, why do I torture myself so? Don't fall down. Done.
Lovely old bridge down it. Sounds like there's a road above as well. Now, why would you build a bridge with an archway unless this was a main route underneath? Would you just do it for strength? Or would you only do it if there's a transport link underneath? You see there's an archway there as well, but that's bricked up. And another one there, which is bricked up. So is it just for strength? Or did something run under here once? I'm gonna have to find out if I can. So there's an information board. Looks like Outward Country Park was once the site of a mine. Atkinson and Coal Line. Perhaps that's where we are on that. So it looks like it was a colliery railway line. Overtook this guy about half an hour ago. He's back again. You can actually see here, look, there is a train station here of some kind. You see that I'm on the platform, so it wasn't indeed a railway line, although possibly not for passengers if it was just for the coal mine. Interesting. Well, that's a strange obelisk in the middle of nowhere. Wonder what that was for. Which way? This way? This way? Quick check. Yeah? Oh, thanks very much, mate. Oh, nice one, thanks for that. I was going to go right as well. That was nice of him, wasn't it? Nice chap. He said go left because it goes to the same place and the right one's really boggy. Ah. Look at them for a crop of mushrooms. They look lovely. Bet they're horrible, but they look delicious. Hi. Whereas those ones there look absolutely disgusting, but they're probably the delicious ones. Nice to see a sign warning about giant hogweed. Nasty stuff. We seem to have some kind of bridge here with, I don't know why is there a middle bit and an outside bit. I'm going to go down the middle bit, needless to say, because it does look quite a high one. I don't know it's the river. Well, I'm crossing it again. Can you see that down there? Crossing the river again. I'm snaking my way, and the river is snaking its way in a much more meandery direction than me, of course, and that's a long way down. This is the kind of bridge you want, right? You know, we can walk in the middle. I've got railings here and here, extra railings. I don't feel like I'm near the edge at all. I don't feel at all scared on here. If I was walking in that bit, then I probably would. Right, looks like we're coming up to Radcliffe perhaps now, which is a kind of an outskirts of Bury. See where my nose takes me. Nice church there over in the distance. So you can read there, Manchester. I've done 7.5 miles already. Well, 6 because I came from the kind of Salford, I guess. 6 to 7 miles. Radcliffe 1/4, Bury 3 3/4. So I've done about 2/3 of it so far. Let's crack on through suburbia. Nice old lamps. And here we are, crossing the river again. Looks a lot more picturesque here. Nice. I'll have to follow the Irwell to its source one day. I was struck by that bridge ahead with the trees on top. Look, do you think it's actually still a railway line? Maybe that's the tram line. Weird that it's got fully grown trees growing on top of it though. Is that weird? Well, I decided to ignore Google Maps recommendation for the last few miles and decided to stay on National Cycle Route 6, and I think it was a good decision because look where I've ended up on. I think it's a disused Bolton-Bury Canal. Once again I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere, and you can see the hills of the Peak District over there in the distance with the modern windmills generating power, and it's lovely to feel like in the middle of nowhere again. Ducks, look what I can see through the dappled shade of the trees. Hello little chaps, how you doing? Oh, you're tiny little things, aren't you? Oh, hello, hello, aren't you lovely? Aren't you lovely? Oh, it's a bit wet you over there, don't you? With your massive dong hanging down. Is this your harem? Oh, you friendly as well? Hello. Hello. You can't nibble me. Oh, you want all the attention, don't you? Hey? Oh, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Good old Scratch. I haven't got any grass to give you, sorry. Have a lovely day though, won't you? Yeah, okay, we'll have a lovely day, thank you. And now, I've got a terribly greasy hand and only a stagnant, disused canal to wash it in. It's really weird how they got bits that are obviously overgrown with weeds and stuff, and lots of bulrushes, more than I've ever seen in my life before, but it's still mallards and ducks and wildlife and coots and stuff. And then you get to bits like this where the trees are fallen in and there's no wildlife at all, and it just looks like a glass surface that's been painted green. It's so still. Wonder what happens if you chuck something in like a stick. Oh yeah, it parts for a little bit and then closes straight back up again. Well, I'm not sure if the canal came to an end there or veered off into the undergrowth, but I walking through a woodland now. So I don't know, did the canal just end there, or is it down over there somewhere? I can't see any dip. That's weird, isn't it? Or did this used to be it and it's been filled in? You can see the stones along the edge here. Maybe this was the canal and they just filled it in for safety or something. I don't know. All these questions I can never get answered, do they, most of them? Well, I seem to have come out of the countryside now, and nice old tower there behind me. This old building here reminded me of from a distance of a fire station, an old fire station, but perhaps it's not. I think it's just an old Victorian mill or something, perhaps. That's a weird dish thing up there, isn't it? Just admiring this whole bridge and the archways and the... Look at that! Who would have thought to put that up there? Can you see that face? A scary face looking down at you. There's quite a few of them all the way along. The little attention to detail they put onto a bridge that probably hardly anyone's ever seen. And then guess what I saw down here? Guess where we are? Of course, back on the River Irwell. Bit of a smaller, sleepier affair up this far from the city centre, isn't it? Still a bit murky looking. Lovely. And flowing counterintuitively to what I would have imagined. But then you never know with the Irwell, it winds its way so many times, you never know which way it's going. Well, this lovely little lane through the suburbs of Bury, and it's very leafy and quiet and well kept, and maybe this has got something to do with it. Bury Grammar School, and what an enormous sprawling complex it is. I think we need to go this way. Well, this is an interesting little bridge. Looks like a train graveyard. You can see what looks like stock that's still used over there. Diesel, perhaps diesel engines, are they just used for industry? Some sheds, some very old carriages down there. I'm guessing they're not used anymore. They look like historical artifacts, they're so old. And over the other side as well. So an old steam train there. Is it like a little railway museum or something? I can't imagine these are used now. I know that the Bury tram stop utilises what used to be Bury tram station. I don't know what that is. I'll have to Google it when I get home and put it on the screen. It's a weird old tower, isn't it? Massive great big crown on top of it as well. Is it a water tower or something? A monument? Oh, all these things I need to find out. And it's got very much Tower of London vibes about it, with the stone that's used and the design. Town centre this way. Bury Town Hall. And suitably named Manchester Road. What a journey it's been. Public library. Lovely old building that. This part of the town centre, at least, peaceful. Parks, autumn trees, fantastic cycle network, and lovely old buildings, maintained, historical, Georgian, Victorian. Watch it all turn to shit in a minute, but at the moment I'm very impressed. And I've only been here a couple of times before and literally got off the tram stop and went to the market, and that was it. Looks nice. Well, Bury Market's shut on a Sunday. Lots of the shops are shut. Not really much going on, to be honest with you. So I'm going to call it a day. Thanks for watching. Make my way home now for some nice dinner. Maybe a nice pint in the city centre. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you soon.